comes. And there's 5 distinctive signs. Do you want me to quit or do you want me to give them to you? The Mahdi will be from among the family of the Prophet Muhammad through his daughter Fatima. The Mahdi will receive the pledge and support of the Iraqi people. The Mahdi will rule over the Arabs for 7 years. The Mahdi will have a broad forehead and a prominent pointed nose. And the Mahdi will spread justice and equity on the earth. No other man among all other men in the Islamic world can claim his personal identity to match all these distinctive signs than only one man. His Royal Highness, Crown Prince El Hassan bin Talal. And Perry, I say it to you now, man of God, what the piece is that we have not known and all your preaching is I'm here to tell you that the Mahdi has to prove he's a descendant of Muhammad through Fatima. And Perry, there is only one family in the whole Islamic world that can do that, and it is the Hashemite family. The Mahdi has got to be a Hashemite. No, he doesn't take over Jordan. I'm getting there, man of God. I'm getting there. One final point. Perry's trying to preach my sermon over here. One final point has got to be made as we go back to the book of Daniel. During the tribulation period, the man of sin will enter into the land of Israel, right? He'll claim royal rights to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, right? He'll commit the abomination of desolation, right? And in his height of military strength, get this, he somehow fails to conquer and will not overcome one significant nation and people. Did you know that? Why? Daniel 11:41 says, he shall enter into the glorious land. That's Israel. That's Jerusalem. That's the midpoint of the tribulation. And many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children Ammon. Somebody doesn't get slaughtered by him. Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon can only be identified as one modern nation, and that is Jordan. Oh, maybe we'll use the proper, appropriate name, the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan. You're here to tell me that this man of sin, when he conquers Israel, is going to let one nation go that's right on the border. He's going to leave Babylon and go into Israel. Folks, he's got to go right through Jordan to get there. But yet Jordan is going to escape out of his hand? Never has made sense till now. The man of sin allows this nation to escape, perhaps because of family ties. Prince El Hassan, who may soon become King El Hassan, king of Iraq, Babylon, will most certainly allow his nephew and fellow Hashemite ruler to remain safe and secure when he lays claim to the land of Israel. Did I lose you on that, or did you get that? This small prophetic point finally makes sense, perhaps for the first time. How can the Antichrist let Jordan escape? Because he's the crown prince of Jordan, possibly. His nephew now is the king. He was supposed to become the king of Jordan. That's what I showed you in this message. And he didn't get it. So he's looking for a new crown. He's looking for a new throne, one that fits the Bible, because he's supposed to be the king of Jordan. He's supposed to be the king of Babylon. And he's going to let his nephew, Abdullah, and Jordan escape. Now this is really interesting. Isaiah 14. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, and the son, and the nephew. It's the same passage that identifies the Antichrist as the king of Babylon. Isaiah 14:4 names and identifies the coming man of sin as the king of Babylon. And then later on it describes the destruction that God pours out on this king and mentions a nephew. Could this nephew to this man of sin be King Abdullah, fellow Hashemite king to Al-Hassan? Perhaps this may be also the meaning behind Isaiah's further prophecy given in chapter 14. After identifying the coming Antichrist as the king of Babylon, he describes God's judgment which will come upon this man who is ultimately indwelt by Satan, Lucifer himself, and makes mention of another person with him. Do you see that? This man has a nephew when he's judged by God that receives judgment with him. Now, is the Hashemite rule really rising again? I'm almost through. Is the Hashemite rule really rising again? Good question. Here's a picture. It was taken 4 months ago. And that's the Gulf of Aqaba. In October, 5 months ago, excuse me. In October, just 5 months ago, this gigantic flag, I know the picture's fuzzy, but that is a gigantic flag. It was constructed in Jordan at the port city of Aqaba. Its dimensions, by the way, are enormous. The flag is over 3 football fields in size. In other words, they wanted some folks a long way away to see this. It's on a pole that's nearly 500 feet high. What flag is it, you ask? Well, if it's in Jordan, it's got to be the Jordanian flag blown on a big old pole like that, right? No, it's actually been identified as the royal flag of the Hashemite dynasty. Now, why would Jordan, 5 months ago, put up an enormous, gargantuan flag, 3 times the size of a football field, and put the flag of the ancient Hashemite dynasty up there? Well, let's ask Debka. You familiar with Debka? The Israeli sources that control the Debka file. It's a good internet site. You need to check it out. They said this, because they are the ones that gave the picture and reported on it. That's my source in this. And they stated this: the Hashemites never gave up their claim of common descent from the Prophet Muhammad or their vision of returning to their roots. This flag may be interpreted as a message that the Hashemite branch, which once ruled Baghdad, has not relinquished its claim there either. They also say, by the way, Perry, in the article, that they're sending a message to Saudi Arabia. Now, it's not in the message, but we know the Antichrist is going to peaceably take control of Saudi Arabia. There's only one family member that can pull that off. The guy that can lay claim of his predecessors that once ruled that land. And he won't do it with a coup. This whole man's message is democracy. And you embrace me and I'll embrace you. I won't force my way in until he gets to the midpoint of the tribulation. And this is an important point. You must hear me on this. I know it's late. I got to deliver this word. I'm almost through. Listen, I'm going to get to my conclusion in a moment. But you got to hear me say this. Because Al-Hassan may be listening to me right now. I think we have misleadingly taught and wrongly taught, Perry, that this man of sin is going to come in like an Adolf Hitler and come in like a Saddam Hussein and come in like a Yasser Arafat. No. He's going to come in with the best intentions the world has ever known or seen. He comes in with a heart that he thinks is pure. But in the middle of the tribulation, Lucifer himself finds something in his heart and seizes it within his heart. And he yields himself to Lucifer. And then he becomes what we know as the man of sin. He doesn't start out that way. So El-Hassan, if you're listening to me, sir, I mean you no harm. And I believe you are going to hear these words. I know who you are.